Hey guys, today I'll be talking about one of my favorite scenes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. My scene is called We Are Groot. It's from the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. This scene is a great culmination of all the arcs that each character has gone through and really represents the message behind this movie. This video is part of a series called One Marvelous Moment, and the idea of this series is to take a look back at the MCU by having YouTubers talk about their favorite scenes and examining the interesting choices and themes across these movies. I first heard about this idea through NanoV Movies, and I definitely recommend that you check him out. There's a ton of other great YouTubers that have contributed to this series, so if you want more of that, I'll have the series playlist linked in the description. I want to start off this video by saying that I believe the reason that all these Marvel movies have been so successful is because of the interpersonal relationships between these characters. Marvel movies are amazing because you have the perfect blend of action, comedy, drama, adversity, you name it, but for me what really sets them apart from other action and superhero films is the extensive development that we get with each character. Every great Marvel hero goes through an arc in their introductory films, often ending with them in a better place than where they started. For example, you can see this in Iron Man and Thor's first movies. You have Iron Man beginning as a money-hungry playboy who doesn't care about the death and destruction he causes, and he totally changes his attitude by the end, wanting to protect the world instead of profiting from it. Then there's Thor, who starts as the brash, entitled prince of Asgard, someone who's clearly not worthy to be king. After his father exiles him and sends him to Earth, he gains some humility and perspective, ultimately ending as a much wiser version of himself. With the Guardians of the Galaxy, there's 5 different characters, 4 of which go through different arcs, and they all end together in one unified moment. First, you've got Gamora, who throughout the movie she's going through the process of distancing herself from her father, Thanos. In Avengers Infinity War, we get a more in-depth look into their complicated relationship, something that I feel adds a lot more weight to the action she took in this movie. She begins as a lone wolf, completely disregarding the prospect of friends or romantic relationships, but by the end of this movie she's able to break down many of the barriers that were built up by her years with Thanos. She's finally able to decide who she wants to be and who she wants to be with. When we first see Drax is when the Guardians arrive at the prison. At the beginning, his sole purpose in life is to avenge the death of his family through any means possible. All of his actions are for the single purpose of taking revenge, whether it be by harming Thanos through Gamora, escaping prison to find Ronin, or ratting out the Guardians so he can have a chance to fight the people who are responsible for the death of his wife and child. After he nearly gets Quill, Gamora, Rocket, and Groot killed, he realizes that his hatred has blinded him and he vows to protect his new friends. By the end, he has not gotten over the death of his family, but he does realize that he can't let his desires come in the way of the greater good of the galaxy. When we first see Rocket, he's just a typical criminal looking to make money through any means necessary. He's not the most normal being to come across, even in worlds filled with thousands of aliens. He's an outcast who's been rejected by society countless times, and even goes as far as to call himself a monster. Like Drax, he is only working with the Guardians for his own personal gain, which in his case is profit. He doesn't care about saving the galaxy because he feels like he doesn't owe anything to a society that doesn't treat him as one of their own. But with the Guardians, he has finally found a group of people that he can care for, ultimately realizing that he needs to take control of his life and protect his new family. Like Rocket, Star-Lord begins as a sort of mercenary, just looking to take whatever he pleases and profit by any means possible. It's evident that from the beginning he does have more of a moral compass than the rest of the group, as he actively goes out of his way to save Gamora and risks his own life for her several times. He clearly becomes the glue that holds the group together, and he's the one who sways the Guardians in favor of saving Xandar. Along with the rest of him, he realizes that with his newfound knowledge and power, he has a responsibility to protect the galaxy. One of the big underlying messages in all Marvel movies is that in unity there is strength. Each individual hero is nearly always able to accomplish what they set out to do once they find a way past their differences with others and work together as a team. The Avengers Initiative is built upon the premise of uniting an extraordinary group of people to accomplish what one person can't do alone. In the first Avengers movie, our heroes continue getting bested by Loki until they force themselves to work together and come up with a solution as a team. This scene where Groot branches out and surrounds the Guardians of the Galaxy to protect them is terrific. Throughout this whole movie, Groot has only said one phrase, "I am Groot." He says it in response to everything, he says it in a different tone, it's great, it's funny. But in this scene, he says, "We are Groot," for the first time, and along with him enclosing his branches around them, it really symbolizes that they are finally family.
We are Groot.
It's a perfect hero moment that represents the journey that Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot have all taken part in. Through all their dealings with the Collector, Ronan, the Nova Corps, Yondu, and the Stone, they've all learned that there are more important things in the universe than themselves. Even though they've argued and threatened each other, at this point they are ready to go down as friends and sacrifice themselves for anyone and their family. We know that they're all willing to do whatever it takes to save the galaxy and each other, regardless of the obstacles they face along the way.